Nero Wolfe's office. Archie Goodwin speaking. No, I'm sorry. Mr. Wolfe is busy planning a menu. I'll see if he can talk to you. What's the name again? You want to talk to a dame named Mrs. Collins?
Hang up, Archie.
Do we know a Mrs. Collins?
No.
I don't suppose you care, but her voice is very charming.
Doubtless. Every female has a charming voice to you. Hang up.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mrs. Collins, but at the moment, Mr. Wolfe is too involved with his digestive system to be interrupted. However, if I may introduce myself, Archie Goodwin, Mr. Wolfe's assistant, if I can be of any help.
Archie?
Yes, Mrs. Collins, I'll ask him.
Hang up, Archie.
It's a cocktail party.
Hang up.
Mrs. Collins, I'm afraid you better not expect Mr. Wolfe. Goodbye. Cocktails. Phooey.
Absurd. Totally absurd.
She says you promised to come to her cocktail party, and why won't you be there?
Because you are going to attend the cocktail party, and probably the unpleasant ending. I've never been to a cocktail party in my life. You know I drink nothing but beer.
You could bring your beer with you, couldn't you?
I could not.
Do we know a Mrs. Collins whose cocktail party you said you would go to?
The phone rang and I picked it up.
Where was I?
Exactly.
Okay, so a Mrs. Collins with a beautifully seductive voice conned you into accepting an invitation to a cocktail party that you knew you were not going to.
Archie.
Yes, master.
Just a little less sarcasm, perhaps.
Sarcasm? Me?
All right, call it impertinence, then.
Impertinence, master?
Exactly, that. Less of that, much less.
Okay.
Continue now.
Where was I?
You were reading the duck recipe.
Oh, yes, the duck. Here we are. Dodine de la Canard. The dodine is one of the oldest dishes in the repertory of French cooking, being mentioned in books of the 14th century. Le Grand Cuisine de l'Ire to Coutsi.
Phooey, what time is it, Archie?
Almost 6:30.
Oh, well, in that case...
You're going to get up?
Here, on this card are your instructions, Archie. If you are still alive tomorrow, you may make your report.
My master's decree in his small, perfect handwriting. Mrs. Albert Collins, Empire Towers. Arrive at 7. Say I sent you. After the murder, telephone me before the police arrive. N.W. Mrs. Collins.
I'm Mrs. Collins.
I'm Archie Goodwin. We talked on the phone a little while ago.
Oh, yes. Well, come in, Mr. Goodwin.
Mr. Wolfe begs to be excused.
Well, I'm glad you could come.
You're not disappointed?
No, I don't think so. I'm rather upset. I'm afraid, Mr. Goodwin, for my life. That's why I called Mr. Wolfe. Oh, just drop your hat and coat there, Mr. Goodwin.
May I tell you something, Mrs. Collins?
Well, of course, Mr. Goodwin.
Oh, Archie will do.
Archie.
When I spoke to you on the phone, I thought I knew what you looked like.
And?
You do.
Well, is that good?
It's not bad, Mrs. Collins.
Janie will do.
Oh, Janie will do.
Archie, I think it would be best if I say you're an old beau of mine.
From where?
Hollywood. When I went to Hollywood High School and you went to USC.
Well, don't expect me to remember much about it.
I'd be flattered if you remembered anything about it. I want you to keep your eyes and ears open. Observe everything tonight. Well now, shall we join the party? Oh, Albert, this is Archie Goodwin. Archie, this is my husband, Albert.
How do you do?
Hello.
And this is Joe Boyce, my husband's partner.
How do you do?
Hello, Mr. Boyce.
I've told you about Archie, Albert, but I guess you probably don't remember, do you?
No, I don't.
When I was in high school and he went to USC.
Oh, yes, sure. What do you have, Goodwin?
I'll just take a plain lime and soda.
Oh, now, really? A teetotaler now?
Yes, I used to overdo it, remember?
Uh-huh.
So you knew my wife in Hollywood?
Oh, quite a while ago.
Been here long?
For a while.
You and my wife run into each other just again recently?
Yeah.
2 days ago, maybe?
About?
Joe here is my partner. Chemical business. That makes us sort of an old home week, doesn't it, Joe?
In a way, Al. I guess it does at that.
Joe knew my wife back in those days, too. And they're still very friendly. Yes, indeed. You two have got something in common to talk about, haven't you, Goodwin?
Mrs. Collins, you mean? We didn't really know each other that well.
No?
All right, good one. Just let it go.
Why, look what I found. A new man. Just what I need. I'm Georgia.
Archie,
Archie, dear, will you fix up my drink, please?
anything for a lady?
Let's go to the bar, huh, Archie?
I'm determined, Joe. If it were only money or only Jane, I might listen.
Oh, Al. Can't we talk about this later?
I like talking about it now, Joe.
You're going to be sorry about this, Al.
I'm already sorry. But you'll have 20 years or so in prison just being sorry. I've got the papers you forged right here.
You're hysterical, Al. Let's face it. The firm went broke, but I suffered too, so let's forget it.
Yes, Joe, the firm went broke, but you didn't. And I don't think my wife did either. The two of you have everything figured out for yourselves. Well, I'm turning the papers over to the DA tomorrow.
Nero Wolfe speaking.
Archie here, boss. What do you know about this expected murder, if anything?
Has it happened yet?
No, but who is supposed to get killed?
I haven't the faintest idea, Archie.
Why don't you stop it?
That's impossible. I don't even know who's there.
You want me to tell you?
Not in the least.
How am I supposed to prevent it if I don't know what I'm looking for?
You're not supposed to prevent it, Archie. I don't think you could. I don't think anyone could.
But do you want to hear what I found out already?
No.
I'll tell you anyway. Collins thinks his wife and his partner Joe Boyce have been stealing his dough, and he's threatening to send Boyce to the clink.
Archie,
Yeah.
you're wasting our time. Go back to the party. There's nothing you can do to prevent the murder, but I want you to be there when it does happen.
Oh, now that all the guests have gone, let's sit down here, Georgia.
When Janie was in Hollywood, she certainly had some good-looking boyfriends.
Oh, let's get personal about this, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, let's.
When you say good looking, you mean moi?
Well, I don't mean anybody else, Archie.
You know, I think you're pretty too.
Well, you better not let Jane over there hear you say that.
You think she'd care?
Well, I thought you knew Jane.
Only slightly. You don't like Jane too well, do you?
Why?
Why? Why what?
Why don't you tell the truth about it? But no man as attractive as you ever knew Jane slightly. They either knew her or they didn't know her. Whew. Maybe you think I'm getting a little tipsy.
The idea never occurred to me.
No, it has to me.
Refill your glass?
I'll come with you to the bar.
Here's your drink, Georgia. Oh, there's no ice left in the bucket.
Janie. Hey, Janie. No ice.
Oh, well, I'll get some. Here, give me the bucket.
Miss Collins, Janie, I mean.
Yes, Archie?
May I use the phone in the bedroom again?
Oh, of course.
Excuse me for a moment, Georgia.
Oh, no, I'm coming with you.
Oh, why don't you just stay here until Jane brings out the ice? Well, why don't you talk to Joe Boyce?
I don't want to talk to Joe Boyce. I don't want to talk to Joe Boyce ever.
Now, look, Georgia.
I am coming with you, Archie. Is that clear?
Okay, come on.
There, here's the phone.
I could have found it myself.
You don't want me with you, do you?
I'll just sit down there on the bed and listen, if that's what you want to do.
Nero Wolfe speaking.
Archie, boss.
Well, Archie, what?
Just a bit of a report.
Go on.
At this moment, I am sitting on the edge of one of two twin beds in the apartment of Mr. and Mrs. Albert Collins. Sitting next to me is the gorgeous redhead named Georgia. Georgia what, dear?
Boyce.
You mean you're the wife of Joe Boyce?
Well, of course. Didn't you know?
I am sitting next to the gorgeous redheaded wife of Albert Collins' partner, Joe Boyce.
Archie, you annoy me.
And from what I've just learned, I can see there's another friction going on.
Yeah, you mean, Georgia and Jane?
Yep, fireworks between them.
Do you have anything more to report?
When I called, I was going to ask if there was any reason why I shouldn't come home now.
I wrote your instructions for you, Archie.
After the murder, call you.
Yes, that's perfectly clear, isn't it?
But what if there isn't any?
Then don't call me. Simple as that.
Hello? He hung up.
Archie,
Yes.
that was a strange conversation.
Would you like me to explain it to you?
What was that business about murder?
Shall we join the party?
I mean murder, Archie. Oh, wouldn't you be surprised if there was one?
Yeah. But who's going to do what and to whom?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe I will.
Elucidate, honey. Do you intend to figure in as the killer or the corpse?
Well, I don't intend to figure as anything, but you never know. Archie, do you think Jane Collins is better looking than me?
Nope.
Honestly?
Honestly.
Well, then what's the matter with me?
Nothing at all.
Oh, yes, there is. Look, do you want to kiss me?
Well, I'll tell you. When I graduated from Sunday school, I took a vow.
That's what I mean. But if I were Jane, you'd want to kiss me, wouldn't you?
No, frankly, no.
Why not?
Well, when I graduated from Sunday school,
All right, Archie, all right. Let's just go back. Well, you boys have such happy faces. Where's Jane?
In the kitchen getting some ice. Where you been?
With Archie.
Is he an old school chum of yours too?
Do you care, Joe?
No.
Mr. Boyce,
What?
how much do you weigh?
187. Why?
Then I'll be giving you 5 pounds. Shall we step outside?
Oh, this I have got to see.
Shut up, Mr. Goodwin. You seem angry.
Just terribly, terribly hurt.
Would it do any good if I apologized? Today, I'm just a little upset. If I said anything to offend you, I do apologize. Now, if you still want me to give you a boxing lesson, I'm at your service.
Let's forget it. I'm sorry, too.
There, I never thought I'd make it. Now I'm going to mix my own drink, and you can take care of yourselves. Ice first, then whiskey, and soda. A simple recipe, isn't it, Archie?
All it needs is the ingredients.
I drink to the ingredients. Nice.
Janie, darling,
What, dear?
would you mind very much if I took Archie away from you?
Haven't you done that already, dear?
Why can't you be honest, Archie? What is the matter with me?
What, Georgia?
You weren't listening, were you?
To every gorgeous word you said.
What did I say?
I want to hear you say it again just the same way you said it before.
I said, why shouldn't there be a murder? I mean, why not? It's in order.
It was just not the considered thing to do.
Can you think of anything better, Archie, honey?
Frankly, yes.
I can too. My glass is empty. Jane!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not much of a hostess, am I? Don't answer that. You're all empty, but I've only drunk half of mine.
You don't usually drink so slow, Jane.
Oh, I'm just not in the mood tonight. I usually drink faster to keep you from drinking mine.
And what's the difference?
See? Albert always gulps his and then reaches for mine.
Yeah.
Well, I'll fix you some fresh drinks, but put my drink over there by you, Georgia, and lay off, Albert. I only had about 3 swallows of it. Besides, you don't need any more.
Well, I suppose we know what dear Jane is going to do, don't we?
Lay off, will you?
Lay off. It's my husband who said that, Archie. Archie, meet my husband, Mr. Boyce. I will now explain why my dear Jane took our glasses away to the kitchen when she could have just poured our drink right here.
Listen, Georgia.
Mr. Boyce is speaking, Archie. What, Mr. Boyce?
Oh, nuts.
Mr. Boyce says nuts, Mr. Goodwin. What do you say, Mr. Collins?
Nuts covers it.
Oh, we were talking, weren't we, Archie?
Possibly.
We were talking about dear Jane. Well, she's got to always be the prettiest, the most devastating. Right now, she's putting on a completely new face, and in about 20 minutes, when our tongues are all hanging out, she'll come back all horsed up and bright and smiling with another tray of drinks.
Yes, and she'll take all night to fix them.
Well, I'm going to go get some air on the balcony.
Well, don't jump off. Al, you're drinking too much lately.
Why should it worry you, Joe, especially now?
When you start drinking, not only your drinks, but everybody else's too, well, Gene's right.
Oh, is that what worries you? Slide Jane's glass down here. That is all melting.
See what I mean?
Okay, Joe, let's not be nice until tomorrow. That give me an idea. I think I'm going to propose a toast until tomorrow. You know, it may be rather fitting that I should drink a toast from the glass that Janie left until tomorrow.
Al! Jeannie!
Albert? Oh, Albert!
Nero Wolfe speaking.
May I come home now?
Oh, hello, Archie. What?
I said, may I come home now?
Have you sent for the police, Inspector Kramer?
Of course.
Who was killed, Archie?
Albert Collins.
How, Archie?
I don't know. You were right, though, weren't you?
Naturally, but about what?
Murder.
No, yeah, we can talk about that tomorrow. Good night, Archie. Come home when you can.
What do you mean, come home when I can?
Well, you'll be held as a witness, won't you? Try not to wake me with the elevator when you come in.
Well, Inspector Kramer, you've had me here at headquarters for a long while. Quite a long while now. Haven't you asked me enough questions?
Goodwin, you never saw these people before, is that what you said? Collins, or Boyce, or their wives. Yet, when all the other guests had gone, you were still there.
I guess I just don't know how to say goodbye.
Well, you didn't know they were partners in a chemical company. You didn't know that Boyce had forged a lot of papers with Collins' name.
All I know is what you tell me.
Goodwin?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know, of course, that you went to that party because Nero Wolfe told you to.
Do you?
My question is, how did Wolfe know it was going to happen?
Why don't you ask him?
I already have.
And he told you?
Says he never heard of Collins or Boyce.
Did he say that he ever heard of me?
He says he isn't responsible for you or your shady friends. Maybe he knows I found a poison pellet in George's bag.
Inspector, may I make a very important call?
Go ahead.
Archie! Archie! Confounded light. Yes, hello.
What time is it, Master?
Confound it, Archie.
I'll tell you what time it is. It's a little after 4 a.m., and I'm at Central Headquarters, and Inspector Kramer has been chatting with me about my shady friends.
Kramer is a jackass.
Oh, just a second. Pick up the other phone, will you, Inspector? Sorry, Mr. Wolfe. What was that you were saying about Inspector Kramer?
I said Kramer is a jackass.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Wolf,
Eavesdropping, Inspector?
I was just talking about bringing you down here for a little questioning, Wolf.
Phooey.
What's that?
Phooey. It can be spelled in several ways. I spelled it P-F-U-I, phooey.
You think I won't bring you down here as a material witness?
Yes, I think you won't. I think you'd be making a great mistake if you did.
Great mistake? Why?
Because I might not tell you who killed Collins. Then you wouldn't know which one of these people to prefer charges against. Now, send Archie home. Even he needs an occasional night's sleep.
What do you think of that? He hung up.
So it seems. It's busy, right? He's probably left the phone off the hook, Inspector, and by now he's probably asleep again.
Well, I can go out there, don't you?
Oh, sure you can. More important men than you have tried, and where are they now?
Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you go.
I'm sure Mr. Wolfe and I are very grateful, Inspector.
You want to know why I'm letting you go?
Oh, I know why.
Why?
Because if you're nice and cooperative and don't make too much trouble, Mr. Wolfe will solve this case for you and tell you whom to confirm charges against.
Goodwin,
Sir.
get out.
Thank you, Inspector.
Are you finished rearranging the furniture, Archie?
I guess so.
And tell me, where are they all set?
There were two couches, like this, in front of the fireplace. Collins and Boyce were sitting together on one couch, and George and I came in. They were looking over some canceled checks.
Where was Mrs. Collins?
As I told you, she was getting ice and fresh glasses.
Why was she getting fresh glasses, Archie? Where were the empty ones?
I don't know. Maybe they are the same ones that she brought back washed and polished.
Archie, I trust your powers of observation absolutely. That's why I sent you to Mrs. Collins' cocktail party.
Okay, but how did you know there was going to be a murder, if it was a murder?
Oh, of course it was a murder. Archie, that was obvious.
Well, how was it obvious? Suppose Collins slipped a few drops of poison into the drink himself.
It's a very strong, very deadly poison. It has a remarkable strong odor.
Yeah, like almonds. Yeah, I smelled it when I picked him up.
Archie, was anything found on the body that might have contained the poison? A vial, a fountain pen, whatever?
No, nothing.
Inspector Kramer found a poisoned pellet in George's handbag. He thinks she poisoned Collins.
Could be, but it wasn't his drink, it was his wife's. Maybe Georgia was trying to kill Jane, and Albert got it by mistake.
Really, Archie?
Well, look, I was expecting a murder because you told me to expect a murder. I watched every move that everyone made. There's no possible way that Jane's glass, the glass with the poison in it, was tampered with by anybody.
Yes, this I believe.
Okay.
Archie, you're sore, aren't you?
Have you ever spent the night with Inspector Kramer? He's really a good man. Why did you say he was a jackass?
Because he didn't know who killed Collins.
Do you?
Well, of course. Was there ever any question? The only trouble is it may be difficult to prove. That's why we are going to have a little cocktail party of our own, and I need you to do something.
Your wish is my command, all-seeing master.
Call Mrs. Collins and tell her to bring a bucket of ice from her refrigerator.
Why?
Because our refrigerator has broken down.
No, it hasn't. I was just in the refrigerator a minute ago.
Our refrigerator has broken down, and it would be very helpful if Mrs. Collins could bring a bucket of ice cubes.
And what makes you think she'll do it?
Oh, I know she will. Call her.
All right, boss. Everything is just the way it was last night.
Archie?
Yes, Your Highness.
At this point in last night's party, Mrs. Collins got up and left to get some fresh drinks. Repeat what she said. Approximately will do.
All right. I think she said something like, put my drink over there by you, Georgia. Lay off, Albert. I've had about 3 swallows of it. Besides, you don't need any more. Am I right, Jane?
Close enough, Archie, but what of it?
Now, what's this nonsense all about, Wolf?
Mr. Wolfe is trying to make something out of nothing.
Oh, I think Mr. Wolfe is just gonna turn up something mighty interesting. Don't look so perturbed, Joe.
Since I'm doing the part of the late Mr. Collins, pass me Jane's glass.
I'll keep my glass, Mr. Wolfe. I haven't finished my drink.
You're a very clever woman, Mrs. Collins.
Would it be too much if I asked what this is all about?
What bothers you, Archie?
You make it sound as if the drink she's holding is poisoned, but it can't be because as yesterday, she's already drank half of it herself.
When our freezer broke down, she was more than willing to bring a bucket of ice cubes, wasn't she?
So?
What would happen, Archie, if you froze a gelatin pellet containing poison in the center of a particular ice cube? Mrs. Collins hasn't finished her drink. Note that the ice is now all melted. She hasn't taken one sip since the ice melted completely. She came prepared in case she was exposed. Smell it, Archie.
No, Archie. Stand back. I can easily swallow this before you can reach me. Mr. Wolfe, in a few seconds I'll drink it. But tell me something first. Tell me how you knew.
Well, I knew there was going to be a murder last night because you said so. I knew that it was you who would commit the murder because it was you who invited me. You hoped an expert witness would prove that you couldn't have killed your husband. So I sent Archie Goodwin, whose observations are always exact, even when he doesn't know of the import of what he is observing.
She brought back clean glasses. She poured the drinks out of bottles that were already opened. And if anybody had put anything or touched one of those glasses, I would have seen it.
Exactly. The poison pellet was frozen in a certain ice cube. Mrs. Collins put that cube in her own drink, drank it until the ice had almost melted down to the poison pellet. Then she took all of the other glasses away, leaving only hers half full. And as usual, her husband drank it. And she did the same thing tonight, in case she was caught.
No, Jane, don't do it.
Too late, Joe. Too late.
Well, boss, Jane did not get away with her suicide try. Thanks to you, that was some clever thinking you did.
Silly. No, all I did was substitute an ice cube I had frozen a gelatin capsule containing sugar in for Jane's poison one. Knowing what I was looking for, I found it immediately when she filled the ice bucket.
I wonder why Jane Collins wanted Joe. He'd stolen practically all the money from the company. He was just a crook.
Well, birds of a feather, Archie. I don't believe Joe Boyce had any idea that Jane was planning a murder. He still had all the money, of course.
Well, the forgeries will put him away for a long time, and poor Georgia could have had it pinned on her if it hadn't been for me.
Yes. Well, you knew all along, didn't you, that Jane had planned to have Georgia accused of planting another poison pellet in her handbag? Jane would have gotten rid of her husband and Joe's wife in one stroke. You knew all that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, how about a bottle of beer, boss?
Could you spare the time?
Georgia. Beautiful redhead. I wonder where she is tonight.
Well, I'm sure I haven't the slightest idea, but in case you do, just be quiet with the elevator door when you come in.